and welcome to Bad Company. I'm Dirt,
I'm BDVampire.
ConQueeftador here.
and today we're going to talk about what makes a business a business. Carl, what do you think?
I think what makes a business is actually communicating with with people. That's one biggest thing is communication. If you ain't got communication, then the business is gonna go to shit.
Right, okay. Tyler?
I'll actually follow up on that. I agree, communication is a big key aspect, but at the same time, without workers, integrity, honor, and a good system,
Yeah.
all of them are key factors to also keeping a business afloat.
Okay. Well, see, I'm also ironically gonna take it on that point, is that I agree with both of you. But honestly, my biggest thing about a company is that when you're doing business with other people, you don't no longer run your business. Your employers, the people that you are employing, now run your business. No, don't be wrong, you might be the head CEO, but you don't run your business no more. It's ran by millions and millions of people. So when you make promises to those people, and I'm getting to my point, when you make promises to people, when you make a false promise, that makes you look bad and makes your people look bad. So like that's how I see it. So with that, we're just gonna go ahead and continue on to the next segment. We have some businesses actually written down. Give me 2 seconds to pull up my list. We're just gonna name one off each of our list. And Carl, go ahead and you can start.
It's McDonald's. It's a restaurant, but
Okay,
Oh,
a lot of people go to that fucking place.
they do.
And it's for what? There's a lot of people that complain about it, how shitty it is. There's not really no good place that has a McDonald's.
So elaborate a little bit more. Like, what do you mean by good place? What do you mean no place is good? Like, you talking about fast restaurants in general?
No. Just like a McDonald's in general, because
Okay,
there's a lot of like complaints.
right. Oh no,
correct
I
me if
can.
I'm wrong, but by that, I'm pretty sure he means like big cities, like
Oh,
California,
okay.
cities in
Yeah,
California,
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Chicago and
Big cities.
stuff. Okay. So like, what exactly is wrong with them? Like, what are they doing that could be fixed?
They're better training,
Better training? I mean, I can definitely agree on that.
because there's a lot of people that work there, especially freaking kids that come out of high school or are in high school.
That's a whole different topic. Cause like just cause I'm not meaning to interrupt you, but like you bring up a good point, because like kids nowadays don't want to work, and when they do work, they complain about having to do that work, but you want to get paid for your work, don't you? Why don't you do the
Right.
work? And sometimes it does land on to the company that didn't train them properly, but it also becomes to the employee,
Yeah,
because
that's
like
that.
it's the employee's job to also want to put forth that effort. Tyler, you got a company in mind?
I've got a very big, well-known company
Okay.
within the gaming industry.
Oh shit! All right.
That was well known for the game that made them as popular as they are, Fortnite. Big game.
Epic game. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What? Okay. All right. I'm kind of interested to see kind of where this goes.
What they're doing wrong is quite simple. They are not focusing on all of their games. They are solely focusing on 1 to 3 games at a time, and pretty much, to put it bluntly, saying F the rest.
I mean, this is not just Epic Games though. I mean, I can agree with you on that, but also Call of Duty, like Treyarch. I mean, they've pushed out the last 3 years. We've had nothing but a Call of Duty game, and each one is almost identically the same, just a different look and a different theme.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, if you look at the Call of Duty line, it's all based around the same thing.
I mean, that's true. That is true.
But outside of like what, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, all of them have really been realistic wars.
Yes, correct.
Epic Games has Rocket League. They have Fortnite, Valorant. I believe Steam is CS. What are some others?
I don't know.
I could probably pull them up and know a crap, like know a lot of them, but off the top
Right.
of my head. But like for example, Fortnite OG season, a lot of players came back during that season. Like it reached its peak back at OG's remake, topping the original peak in like 2016, I think it was, roughly. And then they released Chapter 5, not even prepared for it. There was so many reported bugs and just mistakes that they made within the analytics between the weapons, the medallions being a prime example of it, the bugs, all of that combined, they clearly weren't ready for the update release.
Okay, and how could they have fixed that? Like in general,
By
like
making sure testing it, making sure it's ready.
right, but when you
Go
Instead of releasing it already,
right, but
instead of
you
like
initially
releasing it like
they had pushed back seasons before.
right, but you
Why
initially when
not
you
do the same?
right, but when you initially started your company, like when you picked the company that you picked, you said Epic
Yeah,
Games,
Epic
and
Games.
that they failed on, they only focus on certain games. Okay, how can they
Yeah.
fix that? Like, how would they be able to fix that? Like, hire more
Why
people?
spread out? They could. They have a team for Rocket League and a team for Fortnite separate.
Right, but I'm asking you,
They
like, how
could.
could they fix that but they don't? Like, what would be their
Yeah.
main solution? Hiring
I mean,
another
like you
crew?
said, they can get a team for each game. They have the funds to do it. I'm sure they do. If they don't, there's an issue with how much money they rake in.
And how much they're
And I
putting
mean,
out.
right.
Oh, I agree on
They
that.
100% have the funds to be able to do it.
No, I agree.
Fortnite, Rocket League, and Valorant are their biggest money makers. And I'm sure within a week's time, with as much as Fortnite's item shop refreshes, and maybe even Rocket League, they bring in easily over roughly $5-10 billion in a week's time, just off one of them games.
Right. And so like, basic kind of going off of what I have here written down. So like the company that I was going to pick is Carpet Tech, or aka known as Artisan Floors to be exact. Like their problem, like kind of the similarity there actually, ironically, is that they make one person do the work as three. So pretty much like they'll turn around, for an example, you get hired on, they turn around, few months go by, they fire your supervisor, take you into an interview to take his position, give you his title, but don't give you a raise and expect you to do all three jobs plus train somebody. Like you can't expect somebody to do all that work for pennies. I mean, no offense, we're not Mexicans. We don't live in
right.
we don't live in the 1900s anymore. And I understand that's some people would be like that's racist, or go into further explanation. Like, I'm not trying to pick just one group here. I mean, anybody. Nobody wants to work for pennies. So, like, the way that they can fix that is, like, for an example, if you ask for a raise and they tell you to wait 3 months, that's a problem. Especially after 6 months of you already doing a job that you've already been doing by yourself. So, like, they can implement raises. I mean, that's a solution. They could also implement the factor of, sending someone down from their headquarters to help out, because like, all their businesses are ran by a headquarters. I mean, some like places like McDonald's are not. I mean, some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are personally owned, some are not. So like, and it's not just one company that can use that solution. Everybody can. Because like McDonald's, for an example, you was talking about how they have shitty, their shit's shitty. Well, yeah, you're right. If they hire more people that actually cared about their job, which they have upstate, if they move them people down, they can fix that. Now, Epic Games, on the other hand, yeah, no, they can totally hire actually another crew to do it. But I actually want to go on the topic. Tyler, you actually brought up a question earlier. What was that question?
If you had a dream and you knew you wouldn't fail, how far would you dream it? How far would you go?
Carl? Yeah,
I'm to be honest with you, I don't know, because that question kind of stumped me.
So
For
I'm gonna
real.
be realistic. I'd go all the way.
So my answer would be I would see, and that's what makes me different from Tyler, is I wouldn't go all the way, and the necessarily reason ain't because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to change. It's the factor of you can only go so far. Like for an example, the things you have in your home, all them things equals success and happiness. Okay, all of that's gonna lead to your happiness. So if you turn around and set a goal super high to be a millionaire, and that's gonna make you happy, and you get to that point, there's no guarantee you're gonna be happy. You might still be wanting more. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna set my goal probably about chest height, not very high. And the reason is because I can keep knocking up that goal and keep pursuing the happiness that I want to pursue.
I mean, that's understandable, but at the same time, you also gotta take in consideration, though, that if you go through and you limit that, and you say you're gonna nudge it up, you're not really going as far as what you're dreaming then, right?
I mean, in a technical sense, in a technical sense, you would be technically correct, but it's also the pursue. It's what so getting to that goal is not going to make you happy. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Is getting to that goal is not going to make anybody happy. It's the process to that goal. So if you can't fail, there is no process. So learning, when you fail, it's a learning process.
Realistically, there's still a process that you have to go through.
Yeah, but you're
You
not
just
learning
won't
from it.
guaranteed to get
Right.
it
So
done.
you're not failing and not learning from it. Every fail is a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one step closer to success. So if you don't fail, either, no offense, either you're lucky as fuck or you're special. And what
But
I don't mean,
at the same time,
Right,
though,
right.
the point of the whole saying is quite simple. The only person that stops you from reaching that goal
is yourself, of course.
is you yourself.
Of course. And I never said I wasn't going to just set it medium height and stick it for that forever. No, I even quote it. I'll nudge it. And it's because
Yeah.
like you want to, no offense, you don't, like, creating a business, and like especially for Derp Studios, like we want to create a business that is familiar, loving, and not just loving, but caring to, not it's just an employees, but it's employers, it's customers, everybody. So like the pursuit of happiness and like in a business technique, like the way that they see it is all about I fill your pockets, you fill mine. And that's not necessarily how it works. Like it is, don't be wrong, at the old bold state, that's how it is. But you can't get there if everybody's unhappy. So like that's what I mean, like when I say like I would never set my goal too high, but I would also never set it too low.
At the same time, though, back to your earlier point as well, you said money is the root of all evil.
It is.
But when it comes down to reality, almost anything that involves happiness
is money.
requires at least some form of amount of money.
Well, and that's where I was getting ready to go with my next question is that, so and I'm hoping you all have heard this term, money is time and time is money.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with everything. So like when I waste time, that's money that I could have been making. It's a waste. So like, I mean, you can necessarily them go together, but it's not necessarily like that sometimes, because sometimes it's worth wasting the time than speeding through it. You know what I mean? Like my point is that you don't want to turn it into a job when it can be a career.
Yeah.
Like you never want to overwork yourself. And that's I'm going to be honest, that is the number one problem with most businesses, that they overwork their workers. Either that they take the appreciation too much, or they expect the world out of you.
I mean, I'm not really looking to go too far in detail, but I mean, at the same time, when you say that, in order to actually start up the business, like in its beginning stages, the owner really realistically has to overwork themselves. So, in my ideal, a lot of these business owners are under the impression, well, I overworked myself for 20 plus hours a week or a day nonstop, so you now have to suffer and go through what I went through. And I mean,
And then again, that's the part of you're going to lose, a lot of workers.
Right,
mhm.
no,
Because
I agree. I mean, that is probably the number one problem, is that they overwork themselves and expect other people to put themselves in their shoes and do that
their
work
shoes,
for
yeah.
you. And it's like, you can't necessarily do that. Just like, for an example, we're starting Derp Studios. If I put, like, say, an example wise, 3,000 hours in, I'm not expecting someone else to put 3,000 hours in unless it's 8-hour periods of a day. And honestly, we don't even expect you to work 8 hours. Like, we only want you to work about 4 to 6. And it's because we don't want to overwork you. I mean, no, 8 hours is a normal work day and would be a decent check. But be honest with me. Do you want to work every day of your life? No, I don't. I mean, I could definitely tell you the two that's in this podcast definitely don't want to work for the rest of their lives. Like, so the goal to get there is to take it one step at a time, but don't. It's not the same. Okay, let's put it like this. It's not the same as me talking to one of you and turn around and saying, well, you're gonna do to me, so I'm gonna do to you. It doesn't work like that with business, and that's what they're trying to imply. That's where the information goes wrong.
I mean, let's put it like this, though. You're right on so many aspects of that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But let's put it like this. Business owners are, most of the time, when they're first starting out, they're chill, relaxed, and they just want to survive. You get people that make these huge industries, McDonald's being a prime example. Well, one prime example. Epic Games, Burger King, Wendy's, Walmart, etc. All the way down the line. At that point, once they survive and they know they're gonna survive, and they start making all this money profit, that's when the greed sets in.
Yeah, no, I can completely agree. Yeah, the
Yeah.
greed is definitely a problem.
Basically, a lot of it, like with like the restaurants and with all of it, it's just competition to who's better.
It is, and it
And
shouldn't be that
it
no
should
more.
not be that. It should not be that. We
I
should
mean,
all come together
it's always well,
and
here's
be
the factor.
like,
Hang on.
all right, look,
Here's the factor with business, man. It's always going to be a competition with each other, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's natural. I mean, it's fight, you know, eat or be eaten. Okay,
I mean,
but at the
if we're
same
talking
time,
about, though, statistically speaking, McDonald's has more sales on average within a day, month, week, year, whatever it may be. Statistically, more sales than any other fast food chain out there.
but
So at that point,
right.
my
who
point was
do they
that.
compete with?
I mean, okay. I mean, in that aspect, yes, you are correct. But we're talking as an aspect of, like, say, Wendy's when they first came out, or Freddy's, even better, Freddy's. When Freddy's first came out, no one knew of Freddy. Freddy's had maybe 2-3 shots, all right? And then
Yeah.
finally Freddy's started getting there, but they had to fight with everybody else. And that was my point, is like, it's eat or be eaten. So, like, necessarily, yes, I agree with you, Carl. Every company should kind of help each other, but at the same time, it's still always going to be someone's stuff is better than someone else's.
Right, and
Like,
that's what I put my input in. Is like I said, McDonald's is multi-million-dollar corporation bringing in more average sales than any fast food chain. Like they have nobody they have to worry about statistically,
right, but
whether it
okay,
be
but
money or
let's put it
sales.
like this: Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, Wendy's, they fight with each other. They compete with each other. Jack in the Box and Taco Bell 100% compete with each other.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even over like sandwiches. It's over goddamn tacos. Literally, everything that they make on their menu is mostly tacos, burritos, anything in that form. So like they compete with themselves. Wendy's would technically compete with McDonald's, but Wendy's also ain't that big either. You know, so like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're a big company and there's another big company, yeah, it's gonna be eat dog. That was the term I was looking for. Dog eat dog.
At the same time, though, when you get two companies like that side by side, 97, well, I'd probably push more, 95% of the time, it's down to who likes what side more. Like me personally, I'm more of a Taco Bell guy when it comes to the two. I've had both. I prefer Taco Bell.
I'm
And
gonna be honest. I only like Taco Bell for their fucking what are they? The quesadillas. I like their quesadilla and their Diablo sauce.
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend that had actually introduced me to an actual like hidden menu style
Dude, there's
item from Taco Bell.
There's
And
honestly hidden menus everywhere. Seriously, everywhere.
always. But this one here is what got me hooked to Taco Bell. It's a chicken quesadilla with no cut. It's completely one piece.
Mhm.
And you stick 2 Doritos Locos tacos on the inside. And then you put what sauce you want on top of the tacos. And you fold it together. I myself, I do
Sounds
diagonal
like a
sauce.
giant ass taco.
It mixes so well that it just tastes phenomenal. At least to me.
But back, kind of, you know, I mean, we did kind of jump off topic a little bit, but you know, back to the thing is like, so now after, you know, having this conversation, would you change your answer when I asked you what makes a business a business? Would you still keep it the same, or would you change? You guys can go ahead.
mean-
You already know the order you guys are in, so you guys can go ahead and go around the table.
I mean, yeah, I would.
You would? What would your answer now be? Like, oh, hang on, sorry. You would keep it or change it?
I would keep it.
You would keep it? Okay, Tyler.
I mean,
Finish your food first,
I'd
sir.
be either way,
Finish your food.
honestly.
Finish your food. I hear you over there eating. I'll go ahead. I heard you though. Pretty much Tyler said either way he would most likely probably keep it the same. So mine, honestly, after this conversation, I would not change it. The only the fact is that what makes a business is teamwork. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna change my answer. It's teamwork. Like if you don't have, I mean, because that honestly puts Carl's information, your information, and what I said earlier all together. Because without communication, without a good system and a good team, your business is not going to be a business. It doesn't matter if you put all the work in or only 50% in. It's still a business. Like, so somebody, some way along the line is making a mistake. What is a bad decision for a company? Carl?
Letting one bad thing I think is letting anybody just work, meaning like druggies.
Oh, okay. So like
Because
not
there's
doing
not doing good
background
background
check.
checks.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that myself. So not doing background checks and knowing who is working for you. Okay. So
I
Tyler?
mean, me personally, I'm gonna throw it like this: anything that makes the company itself look bad, whether it be done by you, an employer, employee, just somebody within the company.
Okay. So, my thing is, I think a company looks bad when they expect the world from everybody, but expect nothing from them. So, meaning like they expect you to work holidays, but the the CEO don't work holidays. Their headquarters don't work holidays, but you do. Stuff like that. Name some companies, say what we think is bad, and say how they can fix it and why they don't. Carl,
Is Uber.
Uber. Okay. And what do they do wrong?
Well, they
Or
like
is it
again it's like like a temp service type thing, and they don't really have a clue on who's working for them.
they just kind of like hire anybody?
Yes.
Okay. And like what necessarily makes that bad though? Like for an example, so like are you saying like the people that they're hiring are doing bad jobs?
Or making in a way they are stealing the customers' foods
Okay. I mean that
and
is a good.
not actually delivering the food to them.
Okay. All right. I mean, definitely makes sense. I mean, that is definitely something that they should definitely fix because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of Uber and DoorDash, and I've ordered through a couple of their services, and sometimes my orders are not the same. Like I'll order something and they get me something that's not even what I ordered. So I can completely understand that. Tyler?
Let me ask you this though. Let me follow up and ask you this:
Hmm.
how can they really predict if somebody's gonna steal food or not?
That's true because the record could be clean, and if they did a good background check, they could just been like, "Well, I'm hungry."
Yeah, I mean, everybody at some point does something for the first time.
Well, I mean,
It's
not even just for the first time, but everybody does something stupid.
right, and it's like how can you really
Predict
predict if
that,
somebody's gonna steal food?
Carl.
Good answer.
See,
I'm
now he's
not.
dumb.
Yeah.
So just in Carl's defense, you're correct, Tyler, 100%. I mean, I agree with you, but Carl's also not wrong though. They could turn around and do a little bit more digging, look in your past. They could turn around and like if someone reports it, because the report system is terrible. If you report your food was stolen, I mean, you should get your money back, and they should be fired.
100%. Agree.
But the way that they have their system, it's like a rating system. So like if you get like I think it's like 3 or 4 bad strikes, then they fire you. But you can still turn around and reapply.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
in
at
my
that point, if they rehire you back, then they're just stupid.
That's true. No,
They're,
that is.
they're basically
that
promoting you to do
that
that.
in a way that's what happened, because I have a few friends that actually did that and they still got hired back.
I was gonna say I do know that it's just like I mean I wouldn't say it is a temp service, but just like a temp service, anybody can do it as long as they have a vehicle.
Right. Well,
Um.
I mean, even if you don't have a vehicle, they still have openings like bikers.
Oh, do they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Or
there's
yeah,
a guy that I watch on TikTok. He records himself like getting the product or the food or whatever the case may be, biking all the way and dropping it off to the customer. I don't know his username off the top of my head, but on occasions I'll come past a video or two of his.
seen a few TikToks like that.
That's the only reason I know they have a way to use bike.
Gotcha. So, Tyler, what is your company?
My company simply is Ritz Crackers.
Okay, and what are they doing wrong?
I mean, me personally, I feel as there's not enough solidarity to the crackers.
Okay,
When you
can
open
you
up the
elaborate?
package,
Hang on. Can you elaborate this? What do you mean by solidarity? Just for the people that don't know.
you pick them up and they basically almost fall apart.
So
There's
like damaged
no,
goods. So like damaged goods.
well, not even just like damaged goods, because they're obviously made to be like that, considering it's almost every package. But like you pick up a cracker, take a bite, and like the rest of the cracker just instantly falls apart. Like there's no physical like structure to the cracker.
I think that's all crackers though. I'm gonna be honest because like I like crackers with my chilies. So like when you dip the cracker in the chili, it'll like break.
I mean, yeah, but you look at like saltine crackers, some little rectangular crackers, when you take a bite of them, it don't just like crumble, it don't fall apart. Yes, a couple like will chip off,
Yes.
but it don't just like fall apart like how Ritz does.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. That is quite a strange, bad decision. That is kind of strange. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect something like that come.
I mean, obviously it works, they sell, but it's just one of them things like I feel like they need more solidarity to it.
So okay, how could they fix that solidarity?
Adjust the recipe to make them more solid
Durable?
where they don't just they don't
durable?
just fumble.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with you. So my company is Keith, which is like AKA like TCK or something like that. And their problem is working you on days you're unavailable. So meaning you turn around and you get hired on, do an interview. They go, well, what days are you available? And you go, for an example, you say 4 to 1, and they turn around, okay, and then put you on a night shift and then just randomly schedule a morning shift knowing that you ain't going to show up for that shift. Like what they could do is instead of ask you, "Hey, what are you available? What times could you work?" Because when you say available, I hear the word, "What time am I the most available?"
Yeah.
Like I don't hear, "Oh, well, I guess they should be available today." Like that's something that they could definitely work on, is definitely, change the way you do your interview, and especially if
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go through the application process and you put down the hours that you're available to work, isn't that illegal in most states for them to actually schedule you outside of that?
I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too for sure on that one. I think it is, but I'm not. I'm not for sure. You would have to actually have to pull that up and do some
Yeah,
research
I
on
mean,
that.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah, I think it is, but I'm not for sure. I mean, companies get away with it, but
Yeah, I
not
mean,
just that,
naturally.
but not just that. Like when they expect you to return the equipment, like this is another factor with that. When they want you to return their equipment, like any company, they should. I mean, yes, I brought your equipment, but you should be the one getting it to make sure it's all accurate and correct. Not,
Hmm.
oh, well, you gotta bring it. I ain't gonna touch it. You gotta bring it. That's a
Yeah.
problem. Like, because that tells me you don't care about your equipment and you just toss it and get brand new. That, or you wait months to do it. And no offense, when you do a company, it should be done right then and there. So with that being said, Tyler, do you have like any questions? Any scenarios? Anything for us?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, so I don't mean to steal something from somebody else, but I heard this, I guess you could say, this saying the other day, and it was kind of interesting. And actually, as we started talking about these businesses, kind of got me thinking of this idea. So say you're walking in the park, okay, and then both of you. You're walking in a park and you come across this bench. And this bench, when you sit on it, you feel happy, you feel fulfilled. You get all these feelings of like happiness and worth and trying to think of the other term. I think it's solidarity or something like that. But pretty much you feel really good on this bench, and like it feels like you could live on this bench and not need anything else, pretty much. Okay. You sit on this bench for a few hours and ponder on what you feel. You get up and everything comes back to normal and dull. You go home, you sleep the night, you come back, sit on the same bench. But this time when you sit on the bench, you're told by just a random person, told that this bench will disappear by tomorrow if you get up off this bench. the only way to keep this bench is to give up everything that you have in your life and sit on this bench. The moment you get up, like if you come back tomorrow, it's gonna be gone. What would you do? Would you sit on the bench forever, or get rid of everything that makes what you consider happiness?
I would walk away from it, like walk away from it.
And why?
I wouldn't, just because if you're gonna sit there, you're just worried about that bench.
No. You're not worried about the bench. Like the bench will never disappear as long as you don't get off. So like this bench, when you sit on it, it gives you fulfillment, happiness. It gives you encouragement. Like it gives you everything that you pretty much desire in life.
I would sit on that bench then.
So you would
Because
give up everything that you have to sit on this bench, because that is the deal. Like if you get off this bench this day and come back tomorrow to sit on this bench will not be here no more.
oh no, I'll get off, because I got priorities.
Right, but say
And,
them, say them priorities didn't exist. Like say, say for an example, your
Well,
kids, like your
I
kids,
mean, even so, like when you say you have priorities, wouldn't that fall under being on the bench as well?
Well, I
Because
mean, if
it
that,
fulfills everything, including happiness, and as long as your priorities fall under happiness,
right, I was
it
gonna say,
kind of
I was gonna get ready. Honestly, thank you. I was getting ready to say that, and your kids, like as you sit on this bench, for an example, like for you, your kids won't need you. They'll get what they need. They'll be taken care of. They'll know who you are. I mean, like everything like that's taken care of. But in order to take that option, you have to give everything up. That means no more family. I mean, you don't get me wrong, you will no longer see them. But this bench gives you everything and everything that they need. Like it fills everything you want in life. Would you sit on this bench and not give it up, or would you walk away from it? I'll come back to you, Carl. Tyler, what would you do?
I would stay personally.
And why?
Because I'd be happy and content in life. I would have everything that I need.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit?
I mean, if all my priorities and my needs are made, and I'd be at max happiness, what else is there to want?
Okay. All right. Carl, back to you. So would you stay on this bench?
I'm not for sure. You're still gonna have to go, and then I'll have to go next,
Okay, all right.
probably.
So me, honestly, I couldn't sit on here's the kicker. When you sit on the bench, you feel it. Okay, you feel everything that's flowing through you, and you kind of feel serenity. But my serenity is not a place I want to be. And meaning by that, and I'm gonna go in a little more depth here. What I mean by that is the things that I have in my life is what makes my serenity. My business, my kids, my family, all the objects I've ever bought, the money that I've spent, the blood and sweat and soul that I've put into everything. No, I couldn't sit on the bench. Don't get me wrong, I would sit on the bench for a little bit longer just to take it all in, and then I would give it up, because I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't give up my family. I couldn't give up my business. Something that I dreamed of making. Like, I could not give that up. So like me, no, I would not sit on this bench. And the reason is because like what makes you happy is not the destination. It's the journey. It's the journey. Because, I mean, hopefully, you will feel happiness from this bench. But is it true happiness? So I'm going to go back around the table real quick. Carl, would you give up the bench or sit on the bench?
I would give up the bench.
Tyler.
I mean,
See, realistically speaking, for me, if it was there, like visibly there, and I could
Only to you.
physically
Only to
do it,
you. Only to you. It's only
yeah,
there to you.
100% I would still sit. However, that to me is I would say fantasy ideal.
So sitting on the bench would be a fantasy?
No, like the scenario at hand
Okay.
is a fantasy scenario. I know it's never gonna happen. Though if it was to happen, I would probably sit on it.
Okay. And Carl, why would...
I would also have my girl sit on it with me, even though she can't see it.
Oh,
I would
no.
still
Like,
have
if
her
she goes to
sit.
sit on this bench, she'll fall straight to the ground. Like, there is no her sitting on it. I mean, unless she
Oh,
sat
see,
on...
that's
Unless she
a
sat on your
different
lip...
story.
Unless she sat on your lap, that's the only way she could sit on this bench. Like, it's only
Well,
there
then
to
she
you.
sit on the bench with me via my lap.
But she would not feel the same things you feel. That's the kicker. You have to physically sit on this bench. Like, and it only exists to you guys. I mean, us, more or less. Like, and it's not like, me and Carl is at the same park sitting on the same bench. No, it's just a bench for you. Like, and I'm gonna put a pin on that for a second, Tyler. Carl, I want to ask you, why would you give up the bench?
Oh, it's basically what you just basically what you just said.
Okay.
That's honestly what I was gonna go for in the beginning, but I got fucking stumped with what you were saying.
It's a philosophical question. Okay, now Tyler, I'm gonna make a comment to what you said. I would like in a dream, I would love to sit on this bench, but there's too much writing that I have done and met that I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't give it up for a million years. That's the kicker. Like that makes it different. And it's everybody. It's the answer is gonna be different. So like to me, it's my kids. To Carl, it might not be his kids. It might be his wife. To you, you know, I mean, no, you have your
It's not
girlfriend.
your family.
Right. But my point is like Tyler, you know,
Right.
you have your girlfriend and a business. But that's it. You know what I mean? And I mean, don't be wrong. You have your friends like me and you know Carl. You know, so like you know, you have us to hang on to, but it seems like you would rather give all that up just to be happy and content. And I'm saying like this if this was a realistic question, like this was all realistic. Now, if it wasn't, then dream wise, I mean, you wouldn't make the bad decision. I mean, you would make the correct decision, but the factor is that there is no just straight happiness.
Yeah.
Like that was the point, is that there is no straight happiness. I mean, yes, it is happiness, but it's not your happiness. It's not true happiness. And the point of this question was that companies don't give you this. And that's actually why I brought up the question, is because companies don't give you true happiness like they should.
Yeah.
Like, more or less, the companies nowadays just want to push. Work. You know, where I come from, that's outrageous. Like, you should not have to work a day before a holiday, the day of a holiday, or a day after a holiday. Because because be honest, is it really a day off?
I mean, the day
Well, I mean, okay.
before and the day of, I understand. But I mean, when it comes to the day after, I mean,
So like
I
hang on New Year's.
Okay.
Again, so like New Year's, for an example,
Mm.
you would expect people to come to work hungover.
Not necessarily like first shift,
but
but
that's what
when it
I'm
comes
saying.
like third shifts, third shift most definitely. The day
Okay, I mean,
after third shift, pull up. Second shift, give it a test run, see if they'll come in straight. If they do it. If not, half a shift. First shift, I would say have off for obvious reasons.
right. No, and like my thing is like you know, Christmas for an example. For me, Christmas is not easy. And I don't mean like paying for it or affording it. What I mean is Christmas Day is legit like a whole work day, dude. I'm running around to 8 different places just for a Christmas.
Yeah.
So like after that, dude, I'm dog ass tired and then just want to sleep for a whole day. Like that's what I mean. Like you can't expect someone to come over hungover. You can't expect someone to pretty much, I mean, no, they wasn't working, but they was still technically working. I mean, even though it's a holiday, it's still technically a work day for families. Now, if you don't have a family and you get drunk, I can kind of see it. But like,
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to the business aspect, though, you can't really do enough digging to determine if somebody's under that title or not.
no, then that's why I'm saying you just give it to everybody. You just give that exception to everybody. And look, and here's the kicker, because statistically they say that if you work a 4-day work week or a 5-day work week, if you say have 3 days, okay, you have 3 days of work, take a day off, and then work 2 days and then take a day off, they say you would have more productivity than a natural subway would have productivity. And yes, I mean like a subway cart, like a train. Like you would work better than a subway car would if your schedule worked like that. And that's where the 3 days come in, you know, the day of a holiday, day before and day after, is that you do that, look, you'll get more productivity because you're no longer drained, you're no longer clustered, you know, everything's kind of more of relaxed and vibed out. Like statistically, like they've done statistics on this. Like that's why I brought it to the point, is like they've actually done tests on this and, you know, told companies about this, and companies still don't listen. And like, well, like for an example, Amazon, have any of you ever ordered a package and it be damaged?
I'm gonna be realistic. I don't have an answer.
Okay. Carl, do you order from Amazon?
I do.
Have you ever had packages come up missing or not arrive on time or be damaged?
Recently the kids' one of their kids' Christmas presents. It's not going to come until next month.
Okay. So my point right there is, I mean that more or less falls on the business, but my point right there is like, why guarantee something that you can't guarantee? Like they're literally guaranteeing, because I bet you originally when you bought it, they said that you'll get it between this date and this date, and it wasn't too far. And
Oh.
then now it's saying, well, because they don't have enough drivers, because they're working them literally, because I know a person that worked at Amazon and they literally called off one day, no exceptions, called off one day and got fired. And dude, they do like 10-hour shifts. It's either 5 or 6 days a week.
Shit, my wife, she was working at Amazon doing the delivery thing, and they fired her because they told her she wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that I'm saying. Like, you can't expect, like, hire more people. You can't expect the world out of one person. And that goes back onto the happiness thing, is like, guarantee true happiness. If people are quitting because you're working them like a dog, or you fired them because they called off one day because they was sick, like, that brings an issue to not just people, but the company itself. Like, how do you expect your workers to honor you, trust you, and work for you if you can't give them a reason to? Do you have a comment on that, Tyler?
I mean, at the same time, though, if the tools are provided, you should be able to expect the jobs to be done. If the tools are not,
Elaborate.
then
Hang on. So if someone, say they don't load you out until 1 o'clock, okay, because this is how literally some days would work. Say they didn't load you
yeah,
out, and I'm using Amazon as an example. Say they didn't load you out,
yeah,
and like you have to be there by 10 o'clock. They didn't load you out, like you didn't leave their shipping hub until 1 o'clock, and you still got to go get gas, because that is recommended. Like, that is one of your job's requirements. You have to get
yeah,
gas, and then now you got to deliver 200 and something packages before technically, because technically they tell you work from 10 to 8,
yeah.
but you can work 10 to 10 if they need you to. So my question is like, are they're expected to deliver 200 packages. Do you think someone's gonna be able to deliver 200 packages from 1 to 10?
I mean, as long as they're not like being kind of productive and just doing whatever, I feel it's a little high, but I still feel like it's manageable.
So the highest that was ever done by a person I know was 180 out of 283 packages.
Yeah.
That is excessive. And she didn't,
That's
and they
I
did,
feel
hang
like
on, they didn't get home until 12 o'clock because they still got to take the truck back to their hub by 10 o'clock.
yeah.
Like, no offense, but to me, that's a little excessive. That's a little excessive.
That's why I said it's a little high, but to me it's still manageable.
But see, but for some people that like can't walk really fast, like women, their jeans are not made like our men's jeans. Their thighs rub, dude. I mean, rub.
Yeah.
And that's what they
But
have to
that's also
wear.
why you gotta come equipped for the job. When you sign up for a job,
Well, that's
you
what they tell you to wear.
should know what you're getting into.
Well, what do you mean?
What
When they tell you,
that's
hang on,
that's what they expect you to do.
hang on, but wait a minute, hang on. Right, that's what they expect you to do. Here's the kicker, though. When they tell you your shift is from 10 to 8, and you're working from 10 to 10, is that what
Right,
you
right,
expected from
right.
them? Like that's what I'm
Yeah, but
explaining here. Like
that's
you're
what
you're
you
expecting. Go ahead.
you don't legally have to do that though.
Technically, you do, or you get fired. That's
No.
my kicker. Like they don't
If
care.
you
They will,
go through and you read up the laws, that they can't even fire you for not working that.
but they do. They terminate you.
They don't have legal ability to do that though.
But they have done it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that,
not saying they haven't, but it is illegal for them to do that.
and you tell them that, and they don't never answer you.
And that's at the point where a lot of people fail to realize that you can take them to court and have a lawsuit.
I think there's a lot of lawsuits on them right now.
I don't know the exact terminology as to what the lawsuit would be under, but I do know it is illegal. They cannot fire you simply for you wanting to leave at the end of your shift and not stay over.
So, but my point is like they're not being reasonable, So like they have to be reasonable with certain people. Like you can't, like I said, like I was explaining, you can't expect someone when you tell them you work 10 to 8. That's what, no offense, when a company tells me that, that's what I expect to work. I don't expect for my schedule to change a week later to 4 to 7, and then change another week later to 4 in the morning to fucking 4 in the afternoon. And then I also don't, like, in a point aspect, you don't I expect my schedule not to go from 10 to 10. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like they're like on that factor, they're expecting a whole lot out of a person when they tell you one thing and it's a whole different story. And our first podcast, I talked about promises, promises being not promises being made. That's kind of this case, is like promises are being made but not being kept.
Yeah.
And as a business aspect, that makes you look bad. And Carl said something about how, they have a lot of court cases going on them right now. Amazon does, and it is true. They
I
actually.
just looked. I
I was
just
gonna,
looked it
I
up,
was gonna say
and
they quite have. Go ahead.
recently, 17 states have sued the tech giant, accusing it of harming small businesses and shoppers.
Like they do have definitely some court cases on it, because it's definitely a thing. Um, but like Tyler, you were saying you felt like it's a little excessive, but you said the word expected. I'm trying to use your exact words.
It's a little excessive to expect that much, but it is manageable.
So for a person,
if you push yourself, it can be done.
okay, so no offense, and I don't mean to be mean to like obese people or not, and fat people,
Yeah.
but like in your case, Tyler, yeah, it could be manageable. But what about to a person that's 300 pounds?
I mean, at that point, though, if you're, I'm not trying to fat shame or anything, but if you're 300 pounds, you should be, in my opinion, doing like a sit down job or something where you don't necessarily have to get up and down constantly.
Well, what happens? They chose to do that job because that job, ain't.
And that is on them. They are the ones that chose to be able to sign up, apply, and get the job. They are the ones that should be
Yeah,
able to perform the duties.
right, expecting to do a 10 to an 8, not a 10 to a 10, and have to deliver
Right.
300
what I'm saying,
packages.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to that aspect, work the shift you're scheduled to work. But at the same time, when it comes to that shift duties, you should be able to perform those within the time period allowed within that shift.
What do you mean by that? Just elaborate for the people that don't know.
Okay, so for example, McDonald's. When you're a cook for McDonald's, you're expected to make people's burgers within a certain amount of time, right?
Correct. It shouldn't take,
Right.
30 minutes to make one burger.
Right. If you say the time limit is 180 seconds, it's obviously that's a little quick, but if you go through,
that's 2 minutes and almost 30 seconds. That sounds about right.
That
For
does.
for
I mean,
for
at the
McDonald's,
same
yeah.
time though, like if you go through and you're making your food, well, making the food for them, and you don't have the ingredients to make it, how are you gonna make it? That at the point is the person that's running the grill and or fryer.
Well, hang on. Are
At
you
that
meaning?
point, it
Hang on.
falls back to them.
Wait. Are you meaning like out of like they don't have it by them no more, or like they can like the store's
They run
completely
out.
out?
They
Like
run
the,
out.
Oh,
They have
then
none
if
in the shelves to
hang
be
on, hang
able
on,
then
hang
to
on,
go
hang,
onto
hang
the
on.
front.
Then it's not on the cook. Then it's not on the cook. It's actually
No,
on the
Okay,
manager.
to the
it's
front.
on the.
What I'm getting at though is if you don't have the tools, you can't do it.
Correct. I mean, that is correct.
A woman or a man, for that case, that's 300 pounds is not necessarily equipped with the tools to be able to do that many packages a day or a shift.
No, you ain't wrong, but this is where they get you, okay? And this is so like I was getting ready to say is like, okay, so this is how this is seriously how they get their employees. The first day that they work, they give you like 150 packages.
Yeah.
And you do that, and if you deliver all them, then they go up, and then they go up, and then they go
Because
up.
obviously you can do it.
But just because I can deliver 150 packages doesn't mean I can deliver 300 packages. That's what I'm saying. Like, so like for someone that size, like if they was given 150 packages the first day and they did all those, like it shouldn't jump up 100 more packages. It should jump up 50 more packages and see how you could do with that.
I mean, I would say it should jump a reasonable amount.
And 50, I feel like, is a lot. I mean, especially if, say 20 of them are for the same stops.
Yeah.
That's only 30 packages you really got to deliver. You know what I mean? So, like, and that's what I was explaining is, like, when you make a promise, like, promise that. Like, when you make a business, and, like, especially in a delivery service, you want to make sure that each worker can do that amount. So, if the, if the 300-pound guy can only do, say, about, let's say 170 packages, if he can do 170 packages, just because he can do 170 packages doesn't mean the next person can't do more than that. Now, but
Right.
my point of bringing that up is that, like, they can turn around and negligate it to certain people. So, like, they test you and realize you can't deliver 200 packages by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, then they should turn around and go, okay, well, this person should only get this amount of many packages. Like, limit your workers to a certain amount of packages so you're not overworking them. And that was my point. It's like they're physically overworking their workers trying to get them to deliver so many packages. So, like, things like that is what makes a company and what makes it a bad decision. Like, Amazon has
Yeah.
the right idea, but, like, I don't know if you've seen, like, TikTok videos of people talking about how their packages are just thrown, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
luckily, and then thank God, I have never had a package thrown. But would you want to go through that? I mean, I don't. And that tells me if our deliveries are being thrown, the workers are not happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either of you got anything else to add? Anything you want to say before we go ahead and end this bad company?
Remember to stay in the shadows.
There you go. Remember to stay in the shadows.